A police chief in Tillamook, Oregon was convicted of stealing drugs from his own evidence locker. But his lawyer argued the only reason Police Chief Raymond Rao sits here in court is because he's too honest. Is this another example of a rigged and broken court system? Or is the police chief a drug addict who got caught red-handed? On May 9th, 2023, the evidence technician Lacey Larson received some notices from the DA's office that some evidence was ready for destruction. Lacey takes her key, opens the storage container, removes the large manila envelope, and opens it, only to find a paper receipt. But there's supposed to be crystal meth in this envelope. She reaches her hand all the way in the envelope. Nothing. Imagine the panic Lacey is going through. It's her job to make sure that all the evidence is secure and accounted for. Will she lose her job? Could she go to jail? She texts her supervisor, Lieutenant Nick Troxel. I have a problem. Copy. And it's not good. Oh no. Yeah, we can work through it. I don't know. Unless you know how to make meth so I can replace the bag I have missing, I don't think so. Please tell me these cameras are recording. Lieutenant Nick shows up at evidence storage to see what Lacey has found, and he agrees that this is suspicious. He puts brand new padlocks on the evidence containers and emails his boss, Chief Raymond Rao. A little while later, when Chief Raymond arrives at work, he walks into his office, sees the email from Lieutenant Nick, and walks right back out to talk with Lacey.
He literally walked back in here for a split second, walked right back out and said, "So that email that Nick sent." And I just turned my chair and I looked at him and I said, "Yeah." And he went kind of to this wall over here and leaned against it and said, he sighed and said, "Lacey, I've been taking the evidence and destroying it." And I just looked at him and I said, "What?" And then he said, "Yeah, I've been doing it for months. When I found out you were pregnant, I started going down there and looking for any powdery substance, meth or fentanyl, and destroying it." And I asked him, I said, "Well, did you take record of that? Because I don't know how I'm going to reconcile that." And he said, "Nope." He's like, "I'm the chief. I ultimately have control over evidence."
But Lacey doesn't buy it. When asked by other investigators, Lacey explained to them that she never handles drugs directly. By the time any drugs reach her desk for evidence control and storage, they've been weighed, bagged, and sealed. So while it's technically possible maybe a bag could have a puncture, it's very unlikely that Lacey could ever be exposed directly to drugs. Plus, it's a myth that you can overdose on meth or fentanyl just by touching it, because solid substances can't be readily absorbed by the human skin. Just like sticking your hand in a bag of sugar doesn't cause your blood sugar to spike. Overdosing by inhaling fentanyl is definitely possible, but again, this evidence is already bagged and sealed. So Lacey texts Lieutenant Nick again. "Get here now! Seriously! Where are you? 911, in a meeting. I want out of here. Go for a walk or break. Go home for the day. What's going on? I feel uncomfortable. He just confessed to this." Lacey goes home for the day, and Lieutenant Nick confronts his boss, Chief Raymond. The chief gives the same story to Lieutenant Nick and says, "I screwed up. I should just resign." Lieutenant Nick goes to the city manager, Nathan George, who also confronts Chief Raymond. After hearing the same story, the city manager places Chief Raymond on administrative leave, and the state police begin their investigation. But is Chief Raymond to blame? Can't the chief of police destroy evidence that's no longer needed? Or is he maybe even covering up for somebody else in the department? The evidence against Chief Raymond isn't looking great. As soon as Chief Raymond was hired, Lieutenant Nick wanted to do a full audit of all the evidence on file with the police department. However, Chief Raymond nixed that plan. In 2021, Chief Raymond asked to borrow some methamphetamine from evidence storage so his prior agency, the Nissa Police Department, could use it for their drug dog training. But the Nissa police canine handlers say they use fake scents in their training, and the missing methamphetamine was never returned to evidence storage. Later, Chief Raymond asked to halt the alarm contract that monitored the evidence storage facility. Everyone had their own PIN to gain access, so it was clear who was coming in at certain times. But allegedly, the system was having a lot of false alarms. So, at Chief Raymond's recommendation, the contract was dropped. Chief Raymond also changed the evidence technician's work schedule so that Lacey, or whoever had that position at the time, was off on Fridays. And while the cameras in the storage area did actually function, they only kept the previous 30 days worth of footage. When state police investigators finally did their own full-blown audit of all the evidence at this tiny police department, they found dozens of torn or cut open packages where evidence was supposed to be. They found missing meth, marijuana, heroin, pills, pipes, and needles. In total, evidence was tampered with or missing in 64 drug-related cases. These cases go back well before Lacey would have been pregnant, and they involve lots of things other than just powdery drugs. Urine samples, thumb drives, and even a missing .357 Smith & Wesson. So how does this play out in court?
Raymond Rao pleaded no contest to 2 charges of official misconduct. He was sentenced to 10 days in jail in order to give up his officer certification. That means he can no longer work as a police officer in the state of Oregon. Rao was accused of removing drugs and money between October 21 and May of 2023. He's also been ordered to pay the city of Tillamook $800 in restitution.
During Chief Raymond's sentencing, the judge asked how he destroyed the drugs. Chief Raymond said he would put them in a container with windshield wiper fluid, acetone, radiator fluid, dump in some kitty litter, and throw it all in the trash. To which the judge replied, "That doesn't make sense. I guess you weren't as worried about the sanitation workers as you were about your own employee." In my opinion, the whole story about trying to protect Lacey was made up, and Chief Raymond got off very easy. The unknown question in this situation is what happened to the defendants whose evidence was tampered with. I wonder if their cases are being handled appropriately, maybe being thrown out because the police abused the evidence. It seems to me that this police chief was lying through his teeth. And if you want to become an expert at spotting the lies the police are telling you, check out this next video. I'll see you over there. And remember, don't talk to the police.